Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. Welcome back. If you're returning and you are not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Okay, we on the way to 10K. But y'all, let's give a warm congratulations to Ready to Love. Ready to Love has moved its way to our number one spot for brunch at Necey's. And today, if you haven't noticed, I actually have me a little something like to drink, actually. Okay. I'm trying to like start the new year off right. And I know leading up from my birthday all the way from November to now, I was like just drinking water in my smoothies. But today I really felt like, just having a drink with y'all, talking through these shows. Hey, Alicia, I appreciate you being first in the comments all the time. But yeah, we're gonna have a drink and we're gonna talk about Ladies Who List Atlanta, and then we will get into Ready to Love. Let me know if y'all had the opportunity to check out Ladies Who List. I think that Ladies Who List actually has the potential to be that girl. Okay. And when I say that, I mean, the drama is there. The beautiful women are there. The success is there. The money is there. And I feel like that's all the makings of a great reality show. Hey, Nana, what's up? But yeah, I definitely think that, we are going to have a time with Ladies Who List. And if you haven't even seen the show yet, don't even worry about it because I will let y'all know if it's actually worth watching. I feel like that's my job. It's so funny because a lot of y'all be like, oh, I'm not going to watch the show, but I'm going to watch your review. I appreciate it always. So I'm going to let y'all know what went on. Kendra Nicole, more people are trickling in. Hey, girl. Anisha Alexander, all the way from Trinidad. Hey, what's up, Ramel? Hey, Faye. Visual Taste by Amika. Hey, girl. Yes, y'all finally caught alive, okay? Brunch at Necey's. So y'all know the drill. What y'all think about this thumbnail? Y'all know who we're gonna talk about whenever we get into Ready to Love. Y'all, more importantly, let me know if y'all actually watch Ready to Love. Ladies Who List right now is just the warm up, but y'all know we got stuff to talk about as far as Ready to Love. And my opinion of Miss Sabrina has changed. Let me know if I'm not the only one. And y'all forgive me. My allergies are really kicking in. No, it's not COVID. My allergies are really acting up. So I will be turning the screen on and off to make sure that I'm not in camera like, oh my gosh, what's going on? You know? But all of that being said, I'm good. Okay. Let me catch up on y'all's comments. I asked y'all what y'all thought about Ready to Love. Hey J Dub, what's up? Y'all go check out J Dub. He's also the number one commenter on YouTube, but he has his own channel as well, and he put up his Ready to Love review. Let's see. Jen and Juice. She says, I like how it's a representation of all shades, styles, and body types on Ladies Who List. I do. I love that as well. I really do. Thank you so much, Avis. Kendra says Sabrina and F Boy Walter. Romel said he been stopped watching Ready to Love. All right, so since all y'all are here for Ready to Love, let me go ahead and get the show. Oh, I didn't mean to put up that clown mask, but my ancestors must have put it on my spirit to to pull that clown mask up. Okay. So since y'all watched Ready to Love but not Ladies Who List, let's go ahead and make this Ladies Who List review pretty quick. And I can just give y'all the overall gist of what I think the show is going to be like. And then we'll get into Ready to Love. Okay, so this is the pregame. Ladies Who List is a show that just came out on, comes out on Fridays. I watched it this morning actually, but I think it comes on like right after Ready to Love. And it's about several women who are all involved in the real estate business. Sounds real familiar, y'all. It sounds just like Selling Tampa. But what I will say is, I'm not mad at it, okay? Just like we had Run the World come out, just like we had Harlem come out back to back like that, the show about 4 Black women in New York. Just like we had Insecure, which led to the spinoff. It's not even really a spinoff, which led to 20 somethings. I'm like, you know what? Even though we're getting all of these similar shows with similar storylines, I'm kind of just like, you know what? I'm not mad at him, okay? Because there's more Black consumption, okay, across the board and in the media, regardless of if it's the same storyline. So shout out to that. So yes, it does seem to be similar to Selling Tampa, but the way Selling Tampa was, it seemed as though they only filmed over the course of like 2 weeks, and it was like one storyline of drama. With this show, Ladies Who List, they come out the gate with some type of drama. The personalities, in my opinion, are much, much, much more dynamic. So I think y'all are going to like this a lot better. So the episode starts out and we're introduced to Kira and Kiana. Kira's up top, Kiana's down at the bottom. And immediately right off the gate, I was like, oh my gosh. And reason being is whenever you watch these reality shows, you always get the first season girl. And then after that, you get like the second season girl. Kiana is already looking like a second season girl. And that's not a bad thing. She's nipped and tucked in the right places. She looks very model-esque. I've been here before. Reality TV is not new to me. So just based off of her like grandiose attitude, but also the fact that she's come from struggle makes me feel like I might like her. She seems like she might be dynamic. So Kira and Kiana, they talk about how they met and how their friendship got started. I believe Kira up top is a real estate agent, and I think Kiana is a real estate broker. Not 100% sure. Anyway, people judged Kira up top for posting a picture on her Instagram of herself in a bikini. And they felt like that was her being unprofessional. Like, how you gonna sell houses and $1 million luxury homes, but you on Instagram showing your body? So Kiana down below, she supported Kira on Instagram, and that's basically how their friendship started. Kira is also one of the top producing luxury real estate agents at the firm or the brokerage that she's working for right now. So currently, all of these Black women are working for a real estate brokerage that's owned by white men. And then we find out that Robin, let me show y'all Robin. I already explained to y'all that Kiana had a very diverse personality. She had an upbringing where she came from nothing and now she's something. Robin down below, y'all, I don't know how I feel about this lady, okay? I really don't know how I feel about this lady. So Robin is a firecracker. We see Crystal up top, who is a closing attorney. She owns her own firm where she works real estate agents and she does the closing part. Okay, she's the attorney. And then down below, we see Robin. Robin is a real fiery. Y'all, this is why. Fiery personality, right? And to me, I feel like Crystal is a bit of an enabler. Their friendship to me, y'all, triggered, and that's a word they use over and over again. Their friendship to me reminds me of the friendship that I had with my ex-best friend. Okay. On one hand, Robin seems to do the fool. Okay. She explains to us how she had a struggle upbringing as well. She was a teen mom. She had been abandoned by women who were related to her by blood. And when she said that, I was like, damn, she got to be hurt, because she couldn't even say like exactly who it was that abandoned her when she was growing up. She didn't say like, oh, my mom walked out on me. She didn't say my sister walked. She couldn't even use those terms. She just said women with the same blood as me. And I was like, damn, you're even drawing a distance between you and these women with your word choice. So yeah, she's been through a lot. And for that reason, she does not trust women and she does not have a lot of healthy female relationships. However, she thinks that her and Crystal's friendship is real. And it's kind of one of those relationships where, you know, they didn't try to be friends. They just ended up being in the same place at the same time. And it just kind of happened, right? So, like I said, they met at a party. And then on the other hand, we're going to talk about Crystal. Crystal up top, she's an entrepreneur where she has a completely different upbringing than Robin. So, as I said, Robin had been through a struggle upbringing and pretty much raised herself. And that's what Crystal tells us. Crystal, on the other hand, came from a two-parent household. Her parents supported her. She's been an entrepreneur all her life. So she said she's not surprised that she is where she is now. And as I mentioned to you at the beginning of the video, she is a real estate attorney, a closing attorney. So she owns her whole business. She is the leader, right? So Robin says to Crystal as they're sitting down, is that she has some business idea that she wants to present to Crystal, but she might need Crystal's help with it. She doesn't then say exactly what the business idea is, but immediately Crystal gets a little bit nervous. And I always think it's cool whenever we jump in on these reality shows with people who have actually been friends for years, because the way Crystal reacted was like, ooh, child. I'm like, what has happened in the past to make you feel this way about Robin saying that she has a business proposal? So they show Crystal and Robin, and they actually end up doing a closing for these two influencers. One is like a model for Fenty Beauty, and the guy is a YouTuber, and they ended up getting a house that was over $500,000 at the age of 35 and under, all on their own. So I'm like, okay, straight off the bat, these people are closing deals. Speaking of, okay, on social media this week, I saw DJ Envy post talking about how, you know, they didn't close any deals on Selling Tampa, but on Selling Sunset, they did. And if you actually watched Selling Tampa, they did close deals. So I'm like, why is it that people always try to find the negativity in Black spaces? Like, I don't even think Selling Tampa, and y'all, I'm going off the rail, but I don't think Selling Tampa was a show that painted Black women in a bad light. I thought that the show was put together pretty elegantly. I feel like the drama was cute and it was nothing that was insane. So I don't even know why he said that. Okay. But yes, like I'm saying, Selling Tampa, they were closing deals. And on this show, they show Robin and Crystal closing deals. So Robin likes to work with Crystal as her closing attorney. We're going to meet another closing attorney in a hot second. So back to this business idea that Robin was talking about. Robin goes to Crystal's office and she finally tells her what this idea is. And the idea is to create an all Black woman brokerage, because at the moment she says they don't really have control of the way, yes, J-Dub says Willie Lynch syndrome. And this is in regards to the DJ Envy comment. I agree. Divide and conquer. So Robin says currently they all work for the white man. So she's saying we're already the top performers at our respective brokerages. What would happen if I created my own brokerage and I decided what agents I wanted to work with? So while this sounds like a great idea, Crystal's first response is, okay, you don't really play well in the sandbox with others. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with Crystal saying it right here, but I kind of felt a way because her immediate reaction was like, this ain't really gonna work, right? And if your friend is coming to you and she's excited with an idea and you telling her like, oh, but you remember that one time when you did this and you did this and you did that, I'm going to take this moment with a grain of salt, because based on the previews, Robin has shown me that she has the ability to show her ass, because there's a preview of her hitting Crystal. That's actually how the show starts. And then they rewind and say 2 weeks earlier. So what we do know is in 2 weeks, Robin is going to put her hands on her good friend Crystal. So I feel like Robin probably does have a messy past, but like I said, I was triggered. I've been in a friendship like this before, okay? And it kind of reminds me of like the Cynthia Nene dynamic. You have one friend who's extremely outspoken. You either hate her or you love her, Robin. And like I said, triggered. That had been me before. And then you have the sidekick who is super, super nice. Everybody likes me and they love being well liked. They are here for the shenanigans, but they like for you to be the shield. And I kind of felt like that might be where Crystal may end up. Crystal may be a Cynthia Bailey. Cynthia Bailey likes to hop on the phone and call Nene on the phone and talk shit about the other women. But when it comes time to, expressing these feelings out loud, you probably don't keep that same energy. And I feel like this is what we see with Robin and Crystal. So that's why I'm kind of like, Crystal, you might be right about your friend acting a fool. But on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know. I'm away. Okay. Kay says, why can't we celebrate all the women from both shows? They always have to pit women against each other. Say it again. Ramel says they gonna fight. Damn, he ready. Harold says, oh, they getting physical on Oprah Winfrey Network. Okay. So whenever they show this physical scene, Crystal is arguing. Well, not Crystal. Robin is arguing with Crystal, and she says, "Oh, don't call me triggered. Don't call me triggered." And she hits her on the hand like this, but you could tell she wanted to fight. She hit her on the hand like she was almost her child. And what was crazy to me was that Crystal above, she didn't react. Crystal didn't react in a normal way. Like if somebody would have hit me, regardless of if it was like a shut up, stop talking, we probably would have been fighting. We probably would have been fighting. But that's another reason why I feel like Crystal is more concerned about image than Robin. Robin is just real gritty, real blunt. And that's the difference between the two of them. And it doesn't mean that Robin's a bad person. It could mean that Crystal is fake. So we're going to see where that friendship goes. So when they're in the office, they're arguing, and y'all, take argue with a grain of salt, because Crystal is worried about her image. Like I told y'all, Robin is talking to Crystal in an aggressive tone, and Crystal is not matching her energy. Crystal's just sitting there playing like, oh, what do you mean? Why are you so upset? And Crystal's like, you only know that I don't play well with others because of what I told you. And she says, I told you when it comes to business dealings, I'm great. I'm good with business relationships. But as far as friendships, I don't need women to be my friends. And I'm like, okay, yes, Alicia. Alicia says, Crystal seems to have a nice, nasty personality. Exactly. So Crystal says, okay, well, fine. Well, let's just do that. Let's do the business plan. And I was thinking to myself, like, girl, it's funny how you tried to deter her from her excitement. She was excited about starting this business. You tried to tell her why it wouldn't work. And when she told you, well, you only know that information because I told you, why are you using it against me? You no longer wanted to have the discussion. All of a sudden, it was just like, oh, okay, well, let's do it. Why wasn't it, oh, okay, let's do it from the beginning? So Robin, she might be missing some marbles, but I like to see through the bullshit, okay? And I feel like Crystal has a type of personality to where she'll dress shit up and make it look pretty. So I'm gonna keep my eyes on Crystal for now, okay? We're gonna get back to Crystal. I really don't know how to feel. She does something else later on in this episode where I feel like she's nice, nasty, just like Alicia said, and that's where I'm like, ooh, I may be drawing myself closer to Robin because you seem to be a little bit fake, Crystal. All right. So the other thing Robin says is wild, since y'all didn't watch the show. Robin says, I'm about to trigger this champagne in your face. And I was like, damn. Okay, so we're learning very early on that Robin can resort to violence. I already told y'all in the preview, she put her hand on Crystal. And even in this scene, Robin was so quick to say that she was going to dash champagne in Crystal's face. And it's just wild to me that the tone that Robin uses to talk to Crystal is very belittling. It's very aggressive. It's very, I want to fight. And Crystal finds a way to keep it cute. And I'm like, girl, you're being fake. You're being fake. No way in this world I would allow my friend to talk me into a friendship contract. Nah, I'm playing. I'm talking about Cynthia and Nene. But no way in this world I would allow a friend to talk to me crazy, and you sit there and you take it and you just say, well, that's just the way my friend is. If we can agree to disagree. No, nobody allows disrespect. Something tells me that even though you're the closing attorney, Robin is probably bringing you a lot of money, especially after learning that a lot of the other women use Tiffany as their closing agent. So it's like, say what you mean and mean what you say. At least we know we're going to get that with Robin. So they end the conversation acting like everything is cool. Crystal ends up looking like the good guy, and Robin kind of shows her ass. But if you don't look at it that way, you could easily think like, Robin's so mean. But to me, I've been that friend before where people's like, oh, Necey's a bitch. Necey's mean. Why would they do that? So, yeah. All right. So as I mentioned, a couple other women, they like to use Tiffany as their closing attorney. We see, ooh, y'all, I'm gonna mix up their names. I believe we are looking at Tiffany up top and Tiana at the bottom. I think there's Tiffany up top and Tiana at the bottom. Let me read this comment from the Busy Bees. Busy Bee says, "Hey y'all, from the A. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to watch this show. I tried to support it because I live in Atlanta, but it went left real quick. I don't." Oh, talking about Crystal. Yeah. Ooh La La says, "Robin is too froggy for me. Way too quick to jump." Facts. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it. Oh, J Dub. That's exactly what it is. RBF. RBF. Resting bitch face syndrome. People automatically judge you when they think that you a bitch easily. So I know exactly how that is. Okay, so as I told y'all, I was okay. Makia, y'all correct me. Makia, since you watched this show, it's Tiana on top and Tiffany at the bottom. Tiana is the one who is an agent, and Tiffany is the one who is a closing attorney, right? So Tiffany and Crystal, who we met on the last slide, they both are in the same, I guess, professional role. Okay, they're both closing attorneys. So in a way, it's like they compete, but they don't really compete. But it seems like they do, in my opinion. So they're both mothers. They both talk about how they have no work-life balance. So again, this is showing us a reason why it may be good for them to start their own brokerage and work with Robin. But we're finding out that the friendships aren't really what they seem. Crystal let us know that her and Tiffany, who are both the closing attorneys, they actually went to high school together, but they don't really know each other like that today. Then she also mentions that Tiana prefers to work with Tiffany, so she doesn't really know if real estate lawyers. Thank you, T. I'm making this too difficult. T says they're both real estate lawyers. They compete for sure. Maybe not actively, but yes, they're in competition. Thank you. Yes, not actively competing against each other, but yes, they're in competition. So you see that the groups are split kind of one way or another. Okay, y'all tell me if y'all peep this. Let me go back to Crystal and Robin. Whenever Crystal mentioned, or whenever Robin brought the business idea to Crystal, Robin said that she was interested in working with Tiffany, another real estate lawyer or closing attorney, whatever language you want to use. And to me, it seemed like Crystal was coming off as greedy. It was almost as if she was cool with Robin getting all of the agents together. But as soon as she saw someone who could sort of be competition to her money and to her pocket, she was like, "Oh, I don't really think it makes sense for me and Tiffany to both work for the same brokerage." Excuse me. And I was like, why not? Plenty of businesses where there are multiple people who worked the same position. So to me, it seemed like she was trying to be greedy. And that's that nice, nasty I'm talking about. I'm like, why is it that you're trying to discourage her from bringing Tiffany into it? Now, another thing I have to explain to y'all. I feel like Crystal enjoys being the friend that's always needed. Okay, because that was the issue I had in my own friendship, and I know a lot of other people have this dynamic as well. She's used to Robin saying what she's thinking. She's used to Robin severing her relationships with people, and Crystal enjoys being seen as the person to clean it all up. So while Crystal is like, yeah, this is a good idea, and she's trying to discourage Robin from really thinking that this is something that could work for her, Crystal's all for it because Crystal knows it's going to be more money for her. And she also knows that if Robin is bad with her relationships, Crystal is probably going to be the nucleus of the group. So while she tried to discourage her and was like, oh, well, you're not good with playing it with others, she wasn't going to tell her not to do it because she's used to being the friend to clean things up. And that's just my opinion because like I said, we're only one episode in. So I don't know that girl's life, but that's definitely what it's seeming like to me. So yes, Tiana up top, Tiffany down below, real estate agent, closing attorney. So let's move on. We are back to Miss Q, Miss Kiana. And she is actually taking one of her clients to tour a home that hasn't hit the market yet. It's a contemporary modern home. And when I say one of her clients, if y'all watch Sisters, then y'all know that this is Fatima up top, Crystal Renee. I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. She's so cute. I follow her on Instagram. She got all the cute natural hairstyles. She's good for a dress and tennis shoes, which is one of my favorite things to see. But they were looking at a $3 million home. And I was like, Tyler, let me throw extras down on my resume so I can go get me a $3 million home. Tyler, for sure, right? So while they're looking at the $3 million home, this is something that Crystal really likes. It is beautiful. They have a top deck on the top part of the house, and it's like fake grass outside, and it just looks like a place where it would just be zen. Like I would just go sit out there and like meditate or kick it with my friends. The house was beautiful, okay? So while she's showing Crystal Renee the house, the other Crystal stops by because y'all, she has to be the one to be in the middle of all these friendships. So Crystal stops by to talk to Kiana about the idea that Robin had about starting her own brokerage, right? So she's like, I have to propose something to you, Kiana. I was talking to Robin and she said, I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit concerned. And Kiana's like, for what? And she says, because of Robin. Number one, Ramel said, oh no, Fave, Tyler Perry gonna have your weave looking a hot mess. I'll do it for a check. Okay. So strike number one, Crystal's job was to round up all of the other women and get them to agree to sit down at a dinner with Robin so Robin could give them the business proposal. The reason why this is a strike for me is because she almost tried to project negative feelings before she even knew about the beef between Kiana and Robin. Your only job was to try to get people to meet up and talk business. But before you even told her what the deal was, you were like, I'm concerned. I'm worried. But that's supposed to be your friend. I didn't like that at all. So come to find out, Kiana and Robin actually do have professional beef. Yes, T says she presented it dirty. Kiana and Robin actually do have professional beef. So when the pandemic happened, apparently they used a lot of real estate terminology. So I guess I'm gonna be getting my certification in real estate the longer I review this show. But anyway, y'all, there was something that Kiana needed from Robin during the pandemic. Kiana had to get released from her real estate firm so she could start her own business, but she was in the middle of closing homes. She needed someone to do something for her. So she reached out to Robin, and Robin said that she would charge her $500 a contract on 26 homes. And Kiana said that she didn't know if she was just, I had to do the math right there. That was $13,000. Kiana felt like Robin was trying to be greedy, or she was trying to put her foot on her neck, like, oh, I know you need me, so I'm gonna make you pay for it, right? And if you knew that it was the middle of the pandemic and you knew that your friend was struggling, she had just got released from her real estate agency, it was kind of weird to me that you're going to charge her $500 a contract. Again, I don't really know the relevancy of how much they typically charge per contract, but just based on seeing Robin's personality, Robin is one of those type of women who do not believe in any type of respect to friendships or girl code. Robin has already let us know that she survived. She grew up on survival. She didn't grow up on love. She said that plain as day. So I could definitely see her saying some ridiculous number, like $500 a contract. Now, I don't know if that's ridiculous, but it probably is. And saying, well, you need me. That's business. And she would think nothing of it because she is used to growing up on survival. So for that reason, Kiana was like, yeah, I'll go to the dinner, but that's only because I know she needs me and because I want to tell her no. And I was like, yes, Kiana. That made me like Kiana a little bit more. But let's be real, y'all. I think Kiana's going to do it. She's going to do it, but it's going to be something to her benefit that she probably can't pass up. I think Kiana's going to do it, okay? So, yeah, she just said that that was bad business practice on Robin's part. So I guess we'll see if Kiana is going to say yes or no. So we move on from that scene to now seeing Crystal and her sister Cicely. So I'm like, dang, this is the second time we didn't see Crystal. I wonder if Crystal is going to kind of be like the center of this show, because like I told y'all, it seems like she likes to present herself as the nucleus of the group. People like this, you really got to watch. People like this, they don't want people like Robin to grow. And I'm speaking from my own standpoint because, like I said, I don't know Crystal like that. I was in a friendship one time, and that could be a whole nother story time, y'all. I could talk to y'all. I could tell a story time for like an entire hour on the fallout that I had with this friend. But anyway, I was the mean girl, supposedly, right? Because I said what was on my mind. People like this don't want you to grow, and they don't want you to create friendships without needing them to be in the middle. So, like I said, we're seeing a lot of Crystal, and that's because she's presenting herself as the nucleus of this group. So, Crystal's talking to her sister Cicely, and Crystal is just like, I really just want Robin to communicate exactly what her trigger is. And her sister Cicely says, when you're dealing with people who are easily triggered, you kind of just have to learn to let them be. You may think that your advice is coming from a loving place, but on the other hand, Robin could be like, no, F you. So you got to allow people the space that they need. You need to learn how your friends are and go about it that way. But I don't think Crystal's gonna do that because, like I said, I feel like she wants to be needed. So this is the scene that we get with her and her sister, and we move on from there to Tiana. Tiana is hosting an event. She's having a brokerage open house. It's a multi-million-dollar home, real nice, over 5,000 square feet. And Kiana walks in the place and she's like, where is the video footage? Where is the staging? And I was like, you know what? I'm not even mad at it, because if you are selling a home that is that many $1,000,000, take some of that out your commission and stage the home. If I'm spending that much on a house, I want to see what my TV gonna look like hanging up. I want to see the paintings on the wall. I want to see the restoration hardware, furniture in the house. So, Kiana, I'm not even mad at you for mentioning that, right? So we see Tiana there, Tiffany, Kira, and Q, and they all have conversation about Robin's dinner. Q seems to be the only one who really knows her, right? Crystal, she says she knows of her, but she's upset. I'm saying Crystal, I'm sorry. Kira gets upset because she says that she was at some Kanye event and Crystal acted like she didn't know her at all. Like, don't I know you from somewhere? I don't like when people do that. This is giving Nene and Phaedra. We went to high school together. No, I didn't. Well, you was 4 years older than my oldest brother. That's what it was giving. Crystal really tried to play like she didn't know Kira. And I feel like Crystal probably thinks she's better than Kira, because Kira does seem to be a little bit younger than the other girls in the real estate game. And I think she's fresh on her feet when it comes to luxury. So like I said, I don't keep my eyes on Crystal. Now, Tiana, she just says, no matter what, y'all, we're all going to go to this dinner, but let's just make sure that we keep it classy. And they all agree to keep it classy. So now, y'all, in the final scene, we see Crystal and Robin meet up to discuss their little argument that happened in Crystal's office. Now, I have to say, during this conversation, this is where I felt like I started to look at Robin a little different. I spent the whole review talking about what I saw in Crystal, but we're gonna talk about Robin's faults as well. So Robin immediately shows up to this park and she's like, girl, you lucky that I kind of like you, because if anybody would have, told me not to yell, or if anybody disregarded my friendship, there's no way I would have had a second meeting. And I'm like, girl, don't come in here acting like you entitled. I hate whenever people have a meeting and they automatically assume that it's a meeting to apologize for something. I'm just like, girl, come on. So Robin, she says her issue is that she didn't like that Crystal reminded her of what she said. The only reason why Crystal knew that Robin didn't play well in the sandbox was because of what Robin told her. So she's like, why would you try to use that against me when I'm talking to you about business? Crystal was like, well, I didn't mean it in a bad way. You're feeling like I was trying to come at you. So don't you think that's a little crazy that you're making these assumptions based off of how you feel? Wrong road. Crystal messed up and said the word crazy. So because Crystal said the word crazy, and you could tell she didn't really mean it that way, But based on Robin's reactions, you could tell that she has always been made to be the crazy person. Or maybe she is. I don't know. Robin's reaction was, okay, so now you're going to come for my mental health. Now you're going to say that I'm mentally unstable and da 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 da. I never wanted to be your friend anyway. I was like, girl, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. And maybe the word that Krista was using, triggered, was right. Because she definitely had a triggering reaction to that whole thing. I'm just like, come on. Then I never really wanted to be your friend anyway. I was like, why are you basically making this girl feel like she ain't shit? Why are you friends with her? I think that these two people, the friendship is a friendship of convenience. Let's be real. Not only a convenience for Crystal, it's a friendship of convenience for Robin as well. Because if Robin wasn't used to being around a lot of women and having these relationships with women, why would she decide to have a friendship with you? Both of y'all have friendships of convenience, and it all came out when she said, I never really wanted to be your friend anyway. It's just that Robin is more forth-putting about, girl, I don't really like you like that, but we gonna work together, than Crystal is. So they argue back and forth. They debate back and forth about what words are being used. And then finally, Crystal says, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Robin then criticizes the apology and says, no, if you're going to apologize, you should say it like this. And I'm just like, all right, babe. So the way this friendship, T says not a convenience, friendship of money. Absolutely, both. It's a convenience that they can get money together. So they never really come to a resolve. And this is another reason why I feel like it's a friendship of convenience or a friendship of money. Because if this is really a friend and she really, really hurt your feelings, we would have had to get to a resolve that day. But y'all so easily moved on to, okay, so about this dinner. And y'all just start talking about business again. And then Robin, in her confessional, says friends should be able to disagree with each other. Yes, but you so easily disrespect Crystal, and Crystal is too fake or too afraid to speak up and tell you, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. So it's something wrong with both of y'all, for real. Ooh la la. She says Robin is too easily triggered. All of her interactions have been trauma responses, literally every single one. She needs therapy to heal those deep attachment wounds. Facts. Facts. Every single response. And that's why I'm like, no logical person or no person who means well or no person who wants peace in their life would decide to pursue a friendship with somebody who every single reaction is a trauma reaction unless you want something from them. And that's why I'm kind of just looking at Crystal like, what do you want from Robin? We know Robin is a mess. She said she a mess. But you trying to look you trying to make everything cute in our face. So Crystal is one where I'm like, we got to keep an eye on her. So that's the end of the episode. Next week, we're finally going to see the other girls meet up with Robin. And I guess, like I said, y'all, we're going to move on to Ready to Love. Ready to Love. That's what y'all been waiting for anyway. I have to shout out Sabrina. But I ain't gonna say why just yet, because some of y'all have not watched the episode yet. And y'all came here straight for the review. And I don't want to spoil anything just yet, okay? But y'all, if y'all know me, then y'all can probably guess. Y'all can probably guess how the show ended, okay? So do me a favor real quick before we move into Ready to Love, and go ahead and like the video. All right, y'all. Oh my gosh, let me take a hot mental break. I have to tell y'all, for those of you who are on this live, like I always say, we friends. But I have to tell y'all what happened to me yesterday, just for 30 seconds, okay? Because I cannot stop thinking about it. So yesterday, it was raining, right? I was on my way home on a road, and a car hit me, spun out of control. My car almost hydroplaned, y'all. It was the scariest thing ever. And literally since then, I feel like I can't even get all of my words together correctly. Okay? I'm okay. The car is okay. I'm shook, still thinking about yesterday. I had a migraine. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I had to let y'all know. Okay. And I also have to thank God because it could have been bad. It could have been, it could have been bad. But oh my gosh, that is wild. Thank y'all so much. She says, glad you safe. Felicia says, glad you're okay. Thank y'all. But I'm like, gosh, is this why I cannot form all of my sentences together 100%? Had the headache yesterday. I might even take a break. Let me get to Ready to Love. Thank you, J Dub. Let me get to Ready to Love. But I'm just like, still shook. Y'all, that happened yesterday at like 4:45. So yeah, let's get to Ready to Love. Okay, I'm gonna change the subject now. Okay. I was not 100% surprised by all of the mess that went down. And I'm gonna call it mess, regardless if it was mess or not. I wasn't surprised at all, really. This is kind of the only person that surprised me was Sabrina. The only person. So the episode starts out. Phil and Sydney go on a date, obviously, to talk about Phil and Shiloh. Now, y'all, Shiloh. That video that I posted last week, so many people, I'm reading these comments now. Journey to Jasmine, she says, please go get checked out. Those are clear signs of concussion. Girl, you probably are right. Gigi said you could have a concussion. I was involved in a minor accident and thought I was fine. The chiropractor had me close my eyes. And, oh, girl. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to do that because I'm just like, I cannot. Okay. So last week, y'all had a lot to say about Phil and Shiloh. I thought we had a pretty good conversation. A lot of people had differing opinions as well. So if y'all didn't see my review last week on Phil and Shiloh, I think y'all should go check that out because that was a lot to talk about. So, long story short, okay, Phil picked up Shiloh. Shiloh didn't want to be picked up, but I felt like she used her trauma to weaponize this man, okay? So Sydney sat down and had a dinner with Phil, obviously to discuss what happened between he and Sabrina. She wanted to make sure that he did not do anything to physically harm her and that wasn't really in his personality trait, right? She wanted to make sure everything was cool. Here's where I felt another dislike towards Phil. Phil says to Sydney, at the end of the day, it was my judgment call. And it makes me feel like he hasn't learned anything from this situation. So I feel like even though Shiloh acted an ass and I lit Shiloh up in my last review, now that we're one episode ahead, I am wanting Phil to say, I was wrong for making that judgment call. Your judgment call cannot override what Shiloh is telling you, regardless of if Shiloh used it against you or not. Two things can be completely separate. Yes, we can light Shiloh up on one end and talk about how it was dangerous that she tried to weaponize him or her trauma. But on the other hand, it's like, Phil, the least you can say, yes, the least you can say is I shouldn't have picked her up. It starts there. Okay. So I really hated that he said that and he thought that his call in regards to what she was comfortable with was right. Like, that's not cool. So anyway, it bothers him that Shiloh is hurt by it, but at the same time, he still stands by the fact that it was his judgment call. So I'm like, it must not bother you that bad. Or it's an even bigger issue that you're like, I was right. It just is what it is. Like, no, that's not cool at all, right? It's J does that Phil said he knows what's best for Shiloh. Right. I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that. So Sydney is unbothered by it all. Sydney's like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. I know what type of man you are. I knew you weren't physically trying to hurt her, but I think she's overlooking the point that, to me, the bigger issue was that Phil showed that he cannot be wrong. Phil feels like, as a man, if I say this, this is what it should be. That's the bigger issue, okay? Gina Juice says he's not gonna apologize. He feels he was protecting her. Yeah, no, that's not cool at all. Harold says Sydney is just so happy to have a man. For some women, I feel like men who are assertive and men who think that they're traditionally correct, they like that. They love to take a submissive role, but sometimes that can be problematic, especially when you get with men who are like, I can never be wrong. You're going to be wrong about something. So if we start there, yes, you were wrong for picking up Shiloh if she said that she did not want to be picked up. Okay. So anyway, Sydney's unbothered by it. She decides to continue to pursue Phil. So now we go on from that to the final brunch. And Tommy is with the other couples. And he's like, yeah, you've made it so far on this journey. Now your final challenge is for the men to introduce the women to their families. So the first person, oh, hold on. I have to call this out before we move on to the families. Y'all let me know. But whenever we were at this brunch and we saw Frank, Sydney, and Mumin talking, okay, another thing, I'm kind of irritated. Somebody commented on my video probably about a month ago talking about, I swear these bloggers listen or watch the TV muted because I was calling her Mumin. Okay. But this episode, Frank started calling her Mumin. So I'm like, is her name Mumin or is her name Mumin? Because when I was calling her Mumin, which is obviously the more difficult way to say it, somebody was in the comments trying to play me. When I heard him say that, I was like, I was right. And you're in the comments trying to play me. So if anybody knows if Mumin has any type of pronunciation for her name, let me know. Because I'm like, the same way y'all ran through my comments talking about I be watching the TV on mute, you need to run back by these comments and let me know I was right. Okay? Because for a second, they say her name two different ways on the show. And I ended up changing the way that I said her name because I thought I was wrong. Moo mean. Gina Juice says moo mean. I'm like, nah. Run back by these comments and apologize to me since you tried to talk down on me. Okay. So anyway, Frank, Sydney, and Mumin, whatever y'all want to say, she'll let us know what's correct. They're sitting down, and I definitely got a friend vibe. Whoever Frank ends up with is not going to work. Frank, to me, he came off as a charmer. He came off as somebody who was just nice, get along with the get along. And for that reason, I don't feel like anybody was able to see him as being 100% transparent. For that reason, all of his relationships give friend vibes. That's why Sydney and Mumin can sit there and kiki with each other and they would be cool. Harold says her dad says her name is Mumin. Hey, Josiah. So yeah, I guess we'll call her Mumin. Okay. Jay Antoinette, you gotta stop. She said more like pick mean. No, that's what it was giving, okay? Mumin was giving pick mean. She was. You gotta stop. But Frank, yeah. All of his relationships to me are gonna be like friendships because he doesn't seem to be transparent. We don't talk about Frank's family because they irritated the hell out of me. And then Walter and Sabrina. We see them at the brunch, and Sabrina's asking Walter, how are you feeling? And Walter's like, I'm feeling good. Like, I'm confident going into this. And Sabrina's like, oh, really? And that's where she lets us know that he's still been inconsistent with the way that he has been pursuing her. So, like I told y'all, the challenge this week is for the men to introduce the women to their family. So the first person who we start with is Frank. Frank, he introduces the women. When I say the women, I'm talking about Sydney and Mumin, to his cousin Desiree and his cousin Tony. Desiree looked like she was all of 15 or 16 years old. No shade, she might be grown. She might, have the fountain of youth. But ain't no way I can take you seriously if you're not introducing me to no damn adults off rip. You were introduced to Mumin's parent and her uncle and her older sister. And I was like, red flag. Red flag. He let us know that he doesn't have any siblings. So maybe this is the closest, but you didn't have no uncle, no auntie, nobody of wisdom who was much older than you to meet Mumin. And for that reason, I'm like, you know what? I don't think he's really taking her seriously. So anyway, before either one of the ladies show up, he says to them, I'm still dating two women. And I'm like, Frank, give it up. Frank, give it up. You're not dating two women, okay? You flirt with Sydney on the low. You're hoping that Sydney chooses you because you think she's cute, but there's nothing popping other than that. Newman is all there for you, but you're not really pressed on Newman like that. Like I told y'all in my last review, Newman is an option. She's an option. She's not his priority. So he didn't even have to have Sydney come. And I don't know why Sydney came anyway. So as soon as they're sitting down, Frank goes, uh-oh, uh-oh. As soon as he said, uh-oh, I knew Sydney was walking in there showing body yaddy. All he ever does when he talks to Sydney is compliment how beautiful she is and talk about how them two have the same exact personality. Sydney does the same thing. All she talks about is how her and Frank are within the same network. I told y'all if I heard it again, I was going to scream. And when I watched the episode, I screamed. I'm so tired of y'all acting like y'all actually have a deep connection. Y'all don't have a deep connection. Just let it go. It's okay. Frank is holding on to Sydney because he does not want to fully commit to Newman. But at the end of the day, we know that Frank is not going to be with either one of these women at all. Okay. Better call Becky back, who was at that 4 episodes ago. So anyway, Sydney, she goes first. And Sydney says to Tony that, it really doesn't bother her that Frank is in the nightlife and that he has a lot of male and female friends because she's not the jealous type and that Frank makes her feel confident. Great answer. I don't think it was genuine, but great answer. That's the answer anybody would give. And then they ended up asking her, what's the difference between Frank and other people that you have dated, since there was like 9 other people on the show. And she says the biggest difference between Frank and the other guys is that I've never dated someone just like me. I know exactly what he's thinking. Y'all ain't got nothing else to expand upon. So now Sydney ends up asking them, I have a question for y'all. Where does Frank need growth? And whenever she says that, the cousins say, he's perfect, especially the little one. Okay, I don't know how old she is, but I'm calling her the little one. She says, he's perfect. There's nothing he needs to change on. And I'm like, yeah, Frank, there's nothing genuine about you, in my opinion. I feel like Frank brought these cousins on the show because they knew the assignment. Where was your aunties? Where was your uncles? Where was your older cousins to actually give her the real? Nobody's perfect. Everybody has a toxic trait. Everybody. Okay. Some are worse than others. But I was like, yes, Trey says the cousin said he's perfect. I said, little girl, bye. Little girl. Exactly. I was like, why did you bring this cousin on the show? I cannot. Nana, you're not wrong. Nana says, what is with Sydney in these club outfits? I was not going to get into Sydney's club outfit until she met up with Phil's aunt and cousin. We're going to get there. Okay, so Newman ends up meeting Frank and his family next. And, she just has a very short time, it seems like. She says that she wants 3 kids at most, as long as they're financially able to take care of all of them. She also says that she wants a Christian household. And then she says to them, is he ready to love? And the cousins say, yeah, he's been ready to love. It's all about finding the right person. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's better than saying he's perfect. So the cousins end up talking to Frank when both of the women leave. And they said, as far as personality, the cousin Tony said this, which was weird to me. I'm like, cousin Tony, you don't have no intentions at all, any good intentions. So Tony says, as far as personality, he's going to give it to Sydney. But when it comes to family values, it's Mean. I'm like, this is the first time watching this show that I've heard anybody say that they would give it to Sydney when it comes to personality. Usually when it comes to personality, being a wife, everybody's always ready to give it to Newman, okay? But whenever it comes to looks, they're like, okay, fine, we'll give it to Sydney. So I'm like, cousin Tony, I think you was just looking at her and you was distracted by the body audience in them club outfits, okay? So now, y'all, Kay says he has perfectly pink lips. That's about as perfect as he's going to get. Right. Perfectly pink lips. Exactly what it is. So we'll move on, y'all. Let's move on to Walter and Sabrina. So Walter gets the chance to meet Walter. Y'all, I cannot. Sabrina gets the chance to meet Walter's aunt and his sister. Walter tells his aunt and his sister that Sabrina is from Virginia before she shows up. Then Sabrina gets there and she says, I was born in Seoul, Korea. And his aunt and his sister is looking at him like, do you even really know this lady? But I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt, okay? Because if y'all remember in episode 1, Sabrina was mingling with some of the men and she was showing off this Korean tattoo that she had on her back. And that's when Tyrone started singing this Korean song because he was stationed there for a while. And Sabrina had no clue what this man was talking about, like no idea at all. So just because you were born in Seoul, Korea, she may have very well spent majority of her life in Virginia. But I feel like they were just trying to make it seem like he doesn't really know her that well, which he probably doesn't. Thank you for the super chat, Jersey Girl. She says the way the cousin is sitting in the picture, she looks like a little child in the yellow top. Okay, that's exactly what I was saying. When I was watching the show, I was like, I thought Frank was going to say that he brought Tony and Tony's daughter to meet these women because this girl looked so little. It was nothing that she could have told you about a relationship, Frank. And that's why I feel like he isn't serious about either one of these women at all. Okay. So back to Sabrina and Walter. I feel like they just tried to make, I feel like they tried to make Walter look worse, or they tried to use this scene to go with the storyline that they've been trying to tell us. It's J-Dub. Walter doesn't get benefit of the doubt. Lyric's mom, Sabrina, is as Korean as I am. Yeah, for real. Okay. So next, they ask Sabrina, what was it about Walter that really drew you to him? And she says it was just his aura. She says from the time they met, she felt like he was her person. They hit it off, they had deep conversation, and they really liked that answer. So then Sabrina's like, you know what? I have questions for y'all. I believe Walter's an actor, just like Journey and Jasmine said. But Sabrina asked questions to Walter's sister. She says, what is Walter like when he's in a relationship? Is he affectionate? Walter's sister then says, yes, he's very affectionate. He's focused. And Sabrina said that she's glad she asked that question because she's not seeing the same at all. She's not seeing the affectionate side of Walter come out. She's not seeing Walter being really focused on her at all. And I'm like, Sabrina, okay, for seasons and seasons, I have been complaining about women who get on this show and they think that just because they made it to the final 8, that's it. They're pick-me's. Sabrina was not coming with that pick-me energy. So shout out to her, okay? So let's move on to the next couple. Walter and Sabrina are currently in question. And that is Dante and Aisha. He introduces Aisha to his brother Leroy. Hey, Leroy. No, I'm playing. To his brother Leroy and cousin Darnell. But Leroy did look like a handsome man. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all tell me in these comments if y'all thought Leroy was handsome. His teeth didn't look as small as Dante's teeth looked. Okay. So now y'all, let me see, 2 comments. Y'all hadn't said anything about it yet. Okay. Anyway, Aisha is talking to the cousin and the brother about her divorce, which is why she ended up in DC. She says she's been single for 2 to 3 years, and she's really serious about this relationship with Dante because she doesn't want her kids to have to go through another divorce or another breakup with with a man, right? I am laughing. Kay says he was cute. Ramel said, you really playing? Nana says he was cute. J Dub said Leroy looked zesty. Zesty? Oh, you think so? Like, what you mean by zesty? You think he was looking like he ain't really into the women's like that? What you mean? Let me know, J Dub. So anyway, y'all, she doesn't want her kids to have to go through a breakup with another man. And I was like, I really love that Aisha is like proud of protecting her children throughout this process. I'm glad that Aisha has stood by not having any more children. Even from the beginning, she hasn't made any of the men think that she would be open to having kids for the sake of continuing the relationship. She's been very firm about what she wants in her relationship. Now, I knew my mom was gonna do that. She called me in the middle of this live. I had to hit her. Decline. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call you back, mama. Now, Aisha says this is one point of conversation I feel like we have to have, and this is something that they didn't talk about a lot, right? So they talked about male versus female dynamics. And Aisha says that she believes that the man is the provider and he can slide her a bill or two. Now, my thing is, all that is cute, but all that is cute. J-Dub, you are distracting me in the comments. I can't. All that is cute, except Dante. Dante has 3 kids and 3 baby mothers. So you tell me, in what world is Dante going to be able to provide 100% for his 3 kids that are in 3 different households and your 2 to 3 kids that live with you? I'm like, I don't understand, y'all. Now, let me read this comment in regards to Dante's brother. J-Dub said that Leroy looked a little zesty. I said, what you mean by that? And then J-Dub says, with that open shirt and his mannerisms, he's giving me single mother energy, feminine, in touch with the feminine side energy. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Now, yes, I'm like, what are you talking about, Aisha? I feel like people have to realize traditionalism is cute when you don't really want to do shit. But in 2021, the number of men that can actually provide like that 100% is very slim. Very slim. Then throw 3 kids in the mix that live in 3 different households, and then throw in your 2 to 3 kids. That's 5 to 6 kids total. I don't think it's going to work like that. So his brother immediately, he saw a red flag whenever she said she was looking for a provider. His brother had a face on like, provide. My brother ain't got no money. He didn't have to say it, but Leroy was looking like, what? Dante, on the other hand, was a little bit more chill about it and was like, yeah, that's different. That's different, but that's something we can compromise on. Yeah, because Aisha started out the conversation saying that she wanted him to provide 100%. Then she said, slide me 2 or 3 bills. Then she said, we don't have to do it that way. I just want to be in my feminine energy. So is it about the bills, or is it that you want to be in your feminine energy? Because you can still be in your feminine energy while you work. So I really don't know, right? Jay says, we can live better with 2 incomes, just saying. Facts. It's J-Dub, 2 or 3 cars, private schools, vacations. Yes. Lyric's mom says it's called get a second income. Dante wanted multiple families. He has to provide for them. Right. So I'm like, girl, no. Feminine energy or bills. So that's pretty much the end of the conversation. Leroy and the cousin, what is his name? Because all I've been talking about is Leroy. Okay, the cousin Darnell and Leroy, they said that they like that she is confident, and pretty much that's all they have to say about her. They just like that she is communicating. Right. So now, y'all, we can move on to Phil. Phil has Sydney meet up with his mom and his aunt. And Sydney comes through in a bodycon skirt and a bodycon top. And it's one shoulder and it's crop top. And we can see a lot of skin. She looked really cute, but I wouldn't have worn that to meet the family of somebody who I was dating. And I'm surprised that they didn't say anything about that. What this whole meeting told me was that Dante probably ain't used to dating girls who look like Sydney. Because the way his aunt was hooting and hollering when Sydney walked up, the aunt said, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, Phil. Oh my gosh, she's pretty. I was like, dang, what does the rest of Phil's exes look like for real, for real? So they started asking, okay, and then DJ says Sydney's wardrobe was off the whole show. Y'all, this is called placement. I think Sydney has her own boutique. So she probably was wearing a lot of those fast fashion, Rainbow, City Trends, DD, Fashion Nova type clothes the entire show. So that way y'all can go buy stuff from her. That's probably what she was doing. But the thing is, you didn't have to do placement in this scene, Sydney. I probably wouldn't have worn that to meet anybody's mom, but I mean, not mom, aunt, but ultimately it didn't change the way they felt about you. So good for them. So they end up asking Sydney a really good question, the cousin. She says, if you didn't connect with Frank, would you be with Phil? And this is where Phil says, okay, take your time, Sydney. Take your time to answer this question. And she says, no, it's fine. She says, me and Frank have a lot of commonalities. We're in the same network. We have the same personality. We have so many friends. Same thing. Y'all know what it is. And she says, but Phil is calmness. Phil is my peace. So she says that she feels comfortable being with Phil. Now she leaves the table and she says, I have a really hard decision to make because I was still thinking about Frank. And I'm like, girl, at this point, you and Frank have nothing to talk about besides who y'all know and what late night shifts y'all are working at the bar or boutiques or common friends and whatnot. Y'all have nothing else to talk about. You know that Frank is not for you and that Phil is probably the person that you're going to choose. So she leaves the table trying to make it seem like she don't know who she's going to choose. Then we get to decision day. And again, she is wearing another club outfit. The dress was cute. The body was odd in. But I feel like there's some outfits that are meant to be worn in the daytime and other outfits that are meant to be worn in the nighttime. This was a nighttime outfit, in my opinion. She looked good, but I wouldn't have pulled up to the beach with my whole side out. And you can't really wear nothing under that. So, whatever. It's what Phil like. So they show up. Phil very quickly tells her, I knew that it was the way you laughed at my jokes, the way I saw you at the pool. And I'm like, the way she laughed at your jokes. Okay. So he says, I choose you. And Sydney says, here's the thing. You give me butterflies. And, you just make me so happy. You're my peace. You're my calm. And I choose you. She chooses him. And he ends up gifting her a really nice David Yurman bracelet. Okay. So he spent a little coin with her birthstone. And she was like, oh my gosh, you remember my birthday? And it's like, girl, he was not going to forget your birthday. That was easy. He could have asked production for your birthday. But I'm like, yeah, okay. Good for y'all. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew she was going to choose him over Frank. The cameras were trying to confuse us with the walk-ups. So they also showed Frank walking up. He's walking up with roses. And when Mumin walks up, he says, these flowers are for you, baby. I was like, baby, boy, we have watched this entire season. We've watched you go back and forth between Sydney, back and forth between Mumin, and today she's baby. These flowers are for you, baby. No. Okay. I feel like baby is one of those terms of endearment that's saved as you get into the relationship. Don't baby me and I don't really know you like that. Don't baby me and you couldn't decide if you wanted me or Sydney. Okay? Because if Sydney would have chose you today, Frank, Sydney would have been, baby, these flowers are for you, baby. I was like, but Mumin just wants to be chosen. Mumin just wants to be picked. And it's sad because she's a beautiful girl. Okay? If she was a little bit more selective with what she entertained, she probably would end up in a good situation. But the minute I saw her entertaining Corey's lame ass, I'm sorry, Corey, if you're watching this, you're lame. Okay? You're funny. And Corey, I think you actually got the first award for the clown mask on this show. I think you were the first person that I used this clown mask on. But the minute that Mumin started entertaining Corey, I knew she was a pick-me. She just wanted to get chosen. Okay. So he gives her the flowers and he says, I would like to continue this journey with you as long as you will have me. And Mumin says, with you, I just feel safe. And, as long as we continue to communicate, I think that this will work. 2 red flags, okay? Red flag number 1 was that Frank said to you, I would like to continue this journey. What is the journey, Frank? Y'all boyfriend and girlfriend now? Y'all going on dates now? What is it? You choose her, but are y'all in a what is it? Okay. It was giving very much indirectness. Like, we're to the end of this thing. Let's just keep doing what we've been doing. I need to know. I need a gift. Like Phil gave Sydney a gift. I need your word. Are we official? What's what? Okay. Because you didn't pick these flowers up from Trader Joe's and came down here and said you want to continue this journey with me. What's the journey? Anyway, Mumin, red flag number 2 was that she said, as long as we continue to communicate, why wouldn't y'all? Has there been moments where Frank has been inconsistent with his communication? And based on the previews, it seems like there has been. It seems like they slowly start to fall off after the show. And then she says, are you going to come to the church with me? And Frank says, yeah, I'll do whatever I need to do to make this relationship work. Or I don't even know he used the word relationship. I think he said make this work. Because to me, I needed something that was a little bit more firm. Frank was in there with his little Barry White voice. These flowers are for you, baby. Yeah. Keep all that, okay? So they chose each other. But I felt like this is one of the couples that are together by default. Y'all are together because 1, Walter chose Sabrina. 2, Sydney chose Phil. Y'all were both each other's backups. Y'all don't have no strong connection like that. I feel like it's this is easy. He likes me, I like him. Let's see what happens. So that's why I'm just like, all right, whatever. So let's talk about Dante and Aisha. Dante and Aisha, I know Harold in the comments was saying that you felt like this is a season where nobody actually connected. I have to say, I feel like Aisha and Dante actually connected. I really do. Because I literally I can't see no woman choosing to be with a man that has 3 kids and 3 baby mamas, for no reason. I really don't. I know women do every day, but it actually seemed like they did have a connection, or either their connection was fueled by sex. You're making me think now, Harold. Harold, you're making me think. Let me talk about this, okay? So for one, I felt like Aisha looked good when she was walking up. Her body was out in the blue dress. I feel like this is a little bit more along the lines of where Sydney should have came. When I said Sydney's outfit looked like it was a nighttime outfit, Aisha's outfit wasn't giving night, but it was giving evening. It was long. It was looking a little bit more dressier. She was still showing a little bit of skin and the body was on and it came up to her neck. And I'm like, okay, this is more daytime. This is evening. Y'all going to a real expensive steakhouse after this is what she's looking like. So you look good, girl. He says he chooses her. But when he chooses her, he brings up his favorite 2 memories. One, I couldn't remember. The other memory that he brings up is whenever he just loves massaging her tension away. Now, I told y'all, I hope y'all paid attention to when I was on that retreat and Aisha had her ass tooted and booted up on that massage table. It was going to go down. And I know it went down, okay? I don't know it to be factual, but something in my spirit is telling me that it went down. Thank you, T. T says her cooking in the kitchen. So her cooking in the kitchen was one of his first favorite memories. The second favorite memory was him massaging her. So I'm like, is this sexual or not? And yes, I was hearing that they are still together. So if anybody made a real connection on this show, I feel like it had to be Aisha and Dante. So Aisha starts crying. She says that the reason why she's crying is because it is really hard for Black women to be vulnerable. Why? She says it's really hard for Black women to be vulnerable. And in a space where you can tell a man what you want and he actually gives it to you, she's super thankful for that. So they end up kissing and, they choose each other. Now, this reunion wig, Aisha. Y'all tell me if y'all seen the previews for the reunion. But Aisha, throw it in the trash. That reunion wig, girl, I hate it. I hate to see it. And I hope that this is a real cute 1-part, 2-part reunion. Because I do not want to see. I do not want to see that white blonde colored wig. It was not cute. With the straight across bangs with that big ass rose in your head. Y'all, we gonna talk about it next week, okay? We gonna talk about it next week. That wig need to go to the same place where Sabrina wig went. So speaking of, let's talk about Sabrina. Okay. So Walter and Sabrina, they finally meet up and they're matching. They're wearing the same color, which immediately made me feel like they were going to choose each other. Seeing these two reminded me so much of Joel and Vernisha because they were wearing the same color when they chose each other. Walter's backstory is similar to Joel's backstory. The inconsistency, it was different. However, Sabrina brought different energy. This made me like her so much better. So Walter is explaining to Sabrina that they have sat through a lot of BS. He says that, we sat through a lot of bullshit, but I choose you. Okay, we've been through a lot. And Sabrina says, yeah, we've been through a lot. That's true. She was like, so I sat with myself for at least 24 hours and I had to process my feelings, and they weren't good feelings. They weren't good feelings. And this journey really wasn't a happy time for me. And, you've always been my number one, but you've always found a way to make me feel like number two. I said, oh, Sabrina. This is what I was doing when I was watching it, y'all. Finally, I told y'all season after season, or this is only my second season reviewing it, but episode after episode, I've told y'all that eventually every single woman or man will come on this show and they will show you why they're single. They'll show you why they're 35 years old, 45 years old, however old they are. They'll show you why they're single. Sabrina showed us why. She showed us why. Sabrina says that, although she did like Walter, she had to know that she wasn't just choosing him for her, but she was choosing a man for her daughter. And at the end of the day, she has to choose her and her daughter. And I was like, yeah, Sabrina. They don't come on the show doing this no more. They don't. The women come on the show trying to get in where they fit in, okay? They get on the show just trying to be chosen. And this is where I'm like, what do you get from this? I always get so confused. When Winter chose that other dude, when Vernisha chose Joel, you see all these couples who get together and it's like, you didn't have to leave with him. Why are y'all leaving with your second choices? Your world isn't confined to this 20-person pool of a TV show. You can go home and be by yourself. So that's often why these people choose each other. Then when it gets to the reunion, it's like, oh, we don't talk no more. Oh, no, he didn't pursue me after this. You don't have to choose nobody. So shout out to you, Sabrina. Walter was... Oh, is that so? Oh, okay. Walter was shocked, but he had to play it cute. So Sabrina says, I think our journey ends here. Yes, Sabrina, the journey ends there. And Walter said, okay, well, give me a call. And Sabrina says, oh, I will, because your ass sure don't call me. Sabrina, thank you for giving me life. And thank you for not wearing that wig in this scene, okay? Thank you. Yeah, she took the flowers and she went on. She was like, no, this isn't the way it should feel. No, you should come at me differently. So I was really glad to see Sabrina in the show on that note. And I hope that more women or men feel comfortable doing this on the show. You don't have to go home with somebody. Maybe your person did not get casted for this show out of the hundreds who interviewed for it. Harold says, it was Walter acting confused for me. Like, dude, you know you haven't been communicating with Sabrina and you're shocked. Facts. He thought that Sabrina was just going to come on and act with him. And this is where I'm like, everybody's been saying that he was an actor, and now I'm believing it even more. Maybe he is an actor. Okay. She says Sabrina has more big energy than Cornelius will ever have. Take notes. Girl. Yes, I have seen that they are casting for Miami. I feel like Miami's gonna be different because I feel like they've been in cities where the black population is real thick. Atlanta, Houston, DC. I don't know if Miami's like that. I'm sure there's plenty of black people in Florida, but Miami isn't one of those hubs when you think about a bunch of black people. So I think it'll be real interesting to see. I'm actually excited about it. Y'all know they've been flipping these seasons so quickly. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, y'all, I will see y'all here tomorrow to review Portia's Family Matters. If y'all haven't had the chance to check out my Married at First Sight review, y'all go ahead and check that out because I love talking about these dating shows. And I feel like it's another show that's coming up pretty soon. If y'all continue to watch Ladies Who List, I will keep reviewing it here. So y'all let me know if y'all enjoyed our conversation about Ladies Who List because it's going to be some mess, okay? And we'll end up, talking about that. So as always, y'all, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, I'm going to rest up because I didn't tell y'all everything from yesterday. I'm going to rest up and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.